Hey guys, welcome back to Modern Men. Today we're going to teach you how to grow up and shave like a man. So what I decided to do was bring out my favorite razor, brush, and shaving products. I'm not going to do a tutorial of how to shave, but I want to give you a review of some products that I have used for over 5 years and how they've held up, my thoughts of them, and what I suggest them. So first, let's start with this guy. This is the Timeless brand titanium razor. This is the best investment you can make in shaving, period. I know the comments are already going to say, you're suggesting we buy a $300 razor? I am. Here's why. If you know anything about shaving or double-edged razors or anything, this is literally going to save you hundreds of dollars in your first year. So let's say you're the average man, you shave 3 or 4 times a week, you go through a cartridge a week, you're spending between $3 and $4 a week. So you spend between, let's call it $150 and $250 a year on the disposable cartridges. I'm not going to preach about what those do to landfill, but you understand my point there. The refills for these guys, you can go top end with feathers, or I use Astra. You're spending $10 to $15 on 100 blades. So for 2 years, 3 years for some of us, it literally costs you $10 for the razors themselves. You also get a much, much better shave, without question. You won't get the ingrown hairs, you won't get razor bumps, you won't get acne from shaving. This is a much cleaner shaving experience altogether. I'll put some demos up now and certainly some illustrations of what a cartridge does versus a straight razor or certainly a double-edged razor. So let's get back into this guy and the story of how I discovered Timeless. So 20 years ago, I'm in a Nordstrom's traveling, and a gentleman asked me if I ever heard of Art of Shaving. I didn't even know what he was talking about. I was a guy that went from a cartridge where I would use the $2 or $1.29 shaving cream at the store and break out underneath my neck and have all kinds of problems. He showed me Art of Shaving, the brush, the pre-shave oil, all their different fragrances. I think there were 2 or 3 at the time. And I was sold. I tried it, I got home, and I loved it. I was hooked. So he did a fine job of hooking me. As you go down the rabbit hole with wet shaving, the cartridges are okay. They're not the end-all be-all. So I then venture into straight razor with the strop and all that stuff. And that becomes, it's a great shave, but it's a lot of work. You've got to hone it. You got to do all kinds of stuff. It just became too much work. So I then started looking into who makes the best double-edged razor. So I tried a couple cheap ones. Mercor had a couple ones, you know, the Fat Boys and some of those guys that were, let's say, $30, $40. I liked them, but they weren't exactly what I was trying to get accomplished, let's say. So I then go to Above the Tie and love their products. They were the first really niche kind of brand that was out there that had something very different, great quality. So I used it for years. Loved their razors. So I'm located outside of Cleveland. So there was a shop in Medina, Ohio called Imperial Shaving. And Imperial Shaving was, I don't know how to describe it to do it its justice, but it was literally like going to a toy store for shaving. They had every shaving cream under the sun. They had every brush under the sun. They had every razor under the sun. They had everything. And it was a bit of a pilgrimage for me, but I would spend 90 minutes, 2 hours there every time I went. So 6 years ago, I think I was there, stumbled out there on a weekend, and I saw this gorgeous, and I mean gorgeous, looked like a work of art, um, silver razor with a handle. And so I asked the guys, and they knew me well there, and I said, who is this? And I've seen other brands out there that you had to get on waiting list for, or they were $600, $700, $800. They were a lot of money and something that never really registered to me. So he explained to me this is a brand called Timeless. Timeless is literally a family of a machine shop that basically turned into, they also do razors. And I said, wow, that's an interesting story. Oh, and by the way, they're only located 20 minutes from here. I thought, wow, that's a really cool story. So I ended up picking up the stainless model, and I loved it. But when I bought it, I noticed the head. I bought the aggressive head, and I'll get into that here in a second. And I called the shop, and he said, the shave shop Imperial, and he said, we really can't do anything. We don't have many options, but you can call the guys at Timeless and see what they can do. So I called, and I know it was a crazy request, and I talked to Matt, who's one of the brothers in the family that runs Timeless, and Matt could not have been any more accommodating. Jeff, whatever you need, you want to come by the shop. So long story short, I come by the shop and asked Matt, hey, can I exchange the base plate, which is, for those who knew, the base plate is this right here, that gives you your level of aggressiveness. So Matt's showing me around, showing me all the different options, matte heads, shiny heads, different handles, you name it. I was blown away, and Matt knew what he was doing. So I had that guy and still have it for, it had to be 2 or 3 years. And so Matt and I were chatting one day, and he said, hey, stop by, I want to show you something new we're working on. And so all of a sudden, they've got a titanium one. And I said, oh, titanium. And so they had a polished version and a matte. This is the titanium in matte. And so I purchased it on the spot. And actually, they weren't going to scrap it, but they considered it a defect because the color wasn't what they wanted it to be. It was a little darker, maybe a little dingier than I think their expectations were on that particular run. And so long story short, I bought the less aggressive option. And what I'll show you guys is on the side here, and if I can show you, if you can see it right there, there is a TI 68, I think, on this one. Yeah, 68. The TI is obviously titanium. The .68 is the blade gap of the aggressive. So the larger number, so the .95 I think they have, is the more aggressive. So long story short, I picked that up. My first shave, and I remember this, I sent Matt an email. My first shave with this was the best shave I've ever had with a new razor. And those who have done double edge or even cartridges, sometimes the blades don't work as well, or the setup is a little off. You gotta change your angle of how you shave. This thing blew me away. So about a year or two, maybe 2 years ago already, they launched this handle. This is called the crown handle. It normally comes with like I'd consider a barbershop pole handle. I'll put pictures up above while I'm talking. But so this is the crown handle. Knurled, super aggressive, almost like a serpentine look. The only thing I've ever seen that was close to this, there was a guy that was selling a handle that looked somewhat like these on eBay. He was out of, I think, Ukraine or Russia at the time. And I didn't want to spend, it wasn't a ton for a handle, it was like maybe $120 if you bought it from him. But it was like a 4-month lead time, and I was like, I'm not sure if I'm ever going to get this, so forget it. So anyway, so they launched this. I could not have bought it fast enough. It immediately replaced my other handle within that day. I got it, I think a couple days later, and I've never thought about going back to the other one. Sorry, guys. I absolutely love this one. So let me show you a little bit how this works and how these things work and all that good stuff. So this is typically called a 3-piece razor. And for me, it's 4-piece, but I'll get into it. So I'll unscrew this and show you the 4 pieces here and how this goes together for those who don't know or have never used one of these, never seen one. And all 4 pieces, 3 if you're in the industry. So Top cap, if you ever order from anybody, or certainly from these guys, the top cap comes either smooth or scalloped. My recommendation is go scalloped. I've used both. What I can tell you is, I don't know why, this is so much of a smoother. It doesn't get stuck in your face when you're shaving. I also notice, and I've talked to Matt about this one doesn't get as hot. I don't know if because there's peaks and valleys, but for whatever reason, it's a little different. This is the base plate. Obviously, this is what we talked about, the aggressiveness of how your shave is. Again, I have both. I have a 9.5 and a 6.8. I very, very, very rarely go for the 9.5. The 6.8 is just a dummy proof. I don't have to be on the top of my game. I'm not doing surgery to get a good shave. The other thing I've noticed, besides what a great shave this is, they have these great little outs where all the cream and for me to clean comes out. So I'll show you guys in another video. They're selling now brushes now. You can take a Q-tip and run this through and clean this thing out like it's brand new. So obviously your handle, and then I use Astra blades. So how do you put this together? I'll show you as easy as I can. I lay it on top like this. Those white are glue marks from the wrapper. You just put the cap on. Don't grab it from the sides. Grab it from this end. You hold it in place and make sure it's tight. A fault that it happens every once in a while, if the razor's not on tight, or the handle's not on tight, I should say, it'll turn a little bit and it can nick you pretty good. I've also ordered, when I picked this up, the stand as well. I think these are still $50. So all in, you get a scalloped head, the scallop base plate. So the base plates also come in a variance. Open comb is a very aggressive, because you get more blade, smooth, and then certainly scalloped. So all in, this razor is around $300. Again, would I suggest it? Yes, I love it. If someone breaks in my house and steals this tomorrow, I'm calling Matt and ordering another one. I love it. I think the only thing I would like to see, and I don't even know if I'd like to see it, I'd like to see if it could be done, is like a black version of this, and maybe not colors, but certainly maybe variances. So this comes in matte, as you can see, and also polished. The other mainstay with me, who I've had for years, is this Thater brush. So this Thater brush I picked up at Imperial. It had to be 10 years ago. I was a Rooney brush guy. There was a lot of other brands out there that were a lot of hype to me, to be honest with you. They would lose hairs every time I'd shave. This Thater, and I'll put the specs on which one this is, I've had for at least 10 years. It's the best brush I've owned. You can see how super dense this guy is. I mean, this is like, and again, almost probably 10 years old. I'm gonna look at my box. I bet it's 10 years old. Thater makes just a great brush. I think I think I paid around $185. I know, gasp, some of you guys say, you are nuts. $185 for a brush. If you have never shaved with a brush, do yourself a favor and even buy a generic one for $30. It will change your perspective of shaving entirely. So Thater also made, I don't know if they still do, a stand for this. What's great about this is, so when it dries, it drips and it goes there. I adore these two. I would buy them over all day long, every day. So two other things I wanted to show you about how do I shave, and to make this kind of a fun experience, is Art of Shaving pre-shave oil. There's other ones that I've tried. I always go back to this one. The manly guys are going to say you don't need pre-shave oil. I don't know. All I know is I never nick my face. It's the smoothest shave you'll ever get. The other thing is people shit on the Art of Shaving. I get it. It's commercial. Procter & Gamble bought these guys, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago. And is it the same? I don't know. I think the quality is the same. I don't have any issues with that. But what bugs me is the Art of Shaving brought an awareness and a selling mode to all the other little off brands. And I've loved there's a lot of brands that I've used, but the Artist Shaving Pre-Shave Oil, it's hard for me to beat. I love it. This is sandalwood, certainly one of the best ones out there that I've used. And this is the cream. So again, I mean, this stuff smells like heaven. If you've never smelled their sandalwood, do yourself a favor and get some. It's beyond. People are going to say, you spend $30 or $28 for this. This will last me almost a year. So the guys who buy your $2 shaving cream and nick your face all up, and you got acne coming out and ingrown hairs because you're using a cheap razor and cheap products, there's a reason behind it. I stick with these. I have multiple scents between these two, but I wouldn't go in a different direction. I love Artist Shaving. Great products. So at the end of it all, I just want to kind of show you guys what my daily shaving routine is like between these products. Again, I recommend the Artist Shaving products all day long. I love them. Again, I know they're more mainstream. I don't know, again, if the other brands would even be here if it wasn't for these guys making awareness and bringing it out to the masses. The Thater brush, I absolutely love. I don't know. This is a Silvertip. I'll put the specs up. This is a Silvertip. This wasn't their top of the line, but it's up there. And again, if you've never shaved with a shaving brush, do yourself a favor and try it. I guarantee you'd never go back. And certainly my friends at Timeless, just as good as you can get. These guys come in multiple options, so you don't have to spend $300. They have aluminum, they have a brass or bronze. I apologize, I'm not sure which one it is. I bought those for my nephews who have never, ever wet shaved in their lives until about a year ago. Good old Uncle Jeff bought them for them, and they took maybe a day or two to get a learning curve. They love them. They still, every time I see them, they still thank me for what a cool gift and how often they use them. So don't be afraid or intimidated that you're going to cut your face off. If you go slow, you're going to love it. So Timeless has aluminum, brass, bronze, stainless steel, and the titanium. Again, the variances, you will love any of these. Why do I pick titanium? I love the look, the finish, and to me, it's the smoothest shave I've gotten of any of theirs, and I've tried all of theirs. And it's not because it's the most expensive. If the aluminum would have worked better, I would have stuck with that one. But definitely recommend. You can look these guys up. I'll put all their links in the comment. But again, just a cool, smaller company. These guys, I don't know Thater so much, but I can tell you Timeless is just a smaller company. And I love giving these guys support. You know, I try to use them for corporate gifts. I bought them for gifts for multiple people. I love them. I don't think you'll regret it. Again, guys, I appreciate your time. I know I've been long-winded today. Certainly, please do not hesitate to leave any comments, questions, concerns in the comment section. Please do us a favor and like and subscribe. We're going to do a lot of cool gadgets and tools for men and women, as you guys have seen already. I really appreciate it. But again, if there's anything you guys want to see, any questions, comments, I love it. I love when you guys put the comments in the comment section. So let me know anything you want to see. And we have a lot more to come. So thanks, guys. Have a great week.